Okay, 1802, good luck. So we've not played before, we have no head-to-head score. Opponent just resigns, okay. Let's just go back and look for another opponent. Okay, 1891, good luck. So we've not played before, no head-to-head score there. 23,000 games for our opponent, that's impressive, isn't it? Nearly 2100 in rapid from 700 games, so a strong player. This you normally do this, and this you normally do this. In fact, you normally do this as well in pretty much most retis. Not sure if it matters which order you do. Let's just go here. You've just got to watch out for this sort of concept. Just got to be aware of it in case the structure changes and you just forget about there's a potential threat to your rook. Just something to be aware of, but we're going to go here next. Okay, so how do we want to do this? Excuse me. We've got this, and this is very standard. We could take first, I guess. Actually, let's take the pawn first and bring one over. I assume I'll go with the pawn, not the knight. He could trade the bishops, but he doesn't. Okay, so now I'm going to try and just challenge the center, get a solid structure, get my knight up somewhere. So the knight comes forward, so let's bring our knight across. Okay, so we'll trade one. We might even come back and trade the other. So it's going to simplify the position a little bit. So he's going ultra solid. So bishop up. Right now he's fine. Let's just develop the rook then. It's going to be a little bit challenging to try and do anything much, isn't it? How do we do this? I'm wondering whether to be taking a bit of a risk and try and open things up. I mean, it's very, very risky doing something like this. The bishop eventually will come through. But let's do it, why not? It's only blitz. If blitz goes wrong, it goes wrong. As long as your opponent's playing fairly, that's all you care about. Normally I would have just played e3 and just play a bit more slow, solid, sensible chess, but okay, I think we have to come across to a dark square here. Just got to be careful about takes and my pawn gets loose. Right now it's double guarded, but could easily collapse, of course. Oh, he goes back, so he wanted to deal with this. That gives me a chance to actually push on, but can I realistically redevelop my bishop? I'm going to actually push the pawn on there. I'm blocking my own bishop in a way, but no, I can do this and then come forward. But again, am I actually achieving anything? I'm not sure I am. I'm going to push on this side while he stacked the queen side. Take a little bit of a risk, so he's come forward. So do we do this? Do we just go g4, takes, up, takes here? Is that playable, just a straight g4? Let's do it, just because it's blitz. King up, bishop up is a concept, but if he doesn't trade, I could maybe push on again or just simply take. Okay, he does, so I'm just going to play h5. So now we've got this concept to deal with, so not without a lot of risk. So do I give up an exchange deliberately here? Queen up, bishop down, take, take, bishop takes. Take, I assume you'd take with the pawn, but it opens the file up. I'm going to just take and see what he does. I assume he'll take with a pawn. And I'm going to line up a sack. Say he does this. I mean, maybe I could try and block, but I'm just going to try and sack and activate my bishop on this diagonal. That's what I'm going to try and do. If it goes wrong, it goes wrong. Like I said, it's just a game of blitz. Problem is my position. Oh, apologies, just banged the microphone. The position could easily collapse open, and I've opened a file up now, which is not brilliant. Normally I'd play it slow and steady. If it was rapid, I wouldn't have played this line. So here, I'll probably just take the pawn. I could obviously drop back and pin the bishop, so he's going for that activity, which could be very good. So take. Not much else I can do, is there? So I guess I'll just push up one there. He might be looking at a move like queen down. Yeah, that's what he's gone for. But can I do rook up in some sort of rook lift? Now rook up, he can't take the pawn because of a check. Maybe he just comes down. I know the queen covers that. Yeah, I think rook up's playable because my queen covers this move. He can't take the pawn because of check. I mean, he could, but he'd be like losing the queen for a rook, maybe a bishop. But if I take here, I'm activating the rook quickly now. So he might have got a bit of advantage. Oh, he's missed it. So we just throw in a check and we hit the queen. We just didn't see the tactic. He'll get two pieces, but we get the queen. It might be fine. He might be fine, but we'll take. So we're going to take here and activate the rook. Now, I wouldn't come across there because rook over just pins the bishop and you can't guard it. So he's gone with his rook. So let's throw the check in. Now, have we got a good move here? I don't think we can come back. He can easily block. So I think we have to go this way, right? Just hit the pawn or run this way. It's whether I can get my pieces active. I might actually have made a mistake going for this. It might not work. I can't easily push these pawns, but what did he do? Just a simple rook back. That's what he's gone for. It is a pawn though, right? But again, you can imagine rook across and this collapsing. I mean, that's another pawn though. Now we're threatening a check. I've just got to try and get my pieces active, but everything's opening up as well. Can I risk a pawn push if he misses that? Yeah, that might win the game actually. So here, he can't take because there's a mate threat. So I think that's a strong move. Because he can't take because he would hang checkmate. And it opens the bishop up for a trade. So we're threatening to take, rook takes. That's guarded though, so I need an extra move here. I could be getting this wrong, I could be, but haven't I got rook up now? I think I've got rook up now is strong. If he has to come here, it's just a rook for a pawn. We're threatening to take and checkmate. He can't move the bishop because of the pin. Yeah, so it's like I say, I just took a risk. I wouldn't normally play this line in slow time controls, but it's blitz chess, things go wrong. So he's played back, but that's going to be checkmate. If you move the king, it's mate here. And that's going to be mate if you take. So we managed to get a good win there, taking a bit of a risk. So let's see how the engine says we actually played it. Because obviously at this rating level, I can't win game after game against players at this level. They're too strong. They're the move times for each player. 34 moves we've played. So was it a good way that we played it, or did we blunder and we just got lucky that our opponent blundered back? So we're just going to find out. We did blunder a couple of times, so we have messed up a little bit. It was 84% versus 74%, 2 and 5 blunders. So in this position we're better and we've gone slightly wrong. So g4 was flagged as a mistake, but we're still level actually. The engine's saying, yeah, the bishop, the slow bishop up to hit the rook and then presumably bishop c5. And you just, that's what I would normally do, say in a rapid game, just slow and sensible and steady. And then in this position, what did we do? We shouldn't have pushed that pawn there. We shouldn't have done that. We should have still gone for the same concept, having sacked there, just go for the same concept with the bishop. In this position, though, we've gained an advantage. We're +2 again, and we should have just thrown the slow check in instead of pushing the pawn. Just don't worry about that pawn. So we're actually +2, but it still only puts us back to level. Now in this position, we're now much better, but then we've actually blundered it. So we're +4 better here, and we've made a mistake. We're still better, but +4 to virtually level if we just go on a few moves. So in this position here, we should have just taken the pawn immediately instead of coming in. And it's in this position now, virtually level, and the engine's saying just play the other rook across. And we've given our chance away to win some of the pawns, and then it's going to be hard work. So we just got a bit lucky, but at least having got that bit lucky, it's then too difficult to defend. So an interesting game though, at least it wasn't dull and boring.